Hello, welcome to First Thoughts. I'm Connor Eyzaguirre,
I'm Caleb Leger.
and today we're discussing the 15th and final installment in the much aligned, often disappointing DC Comics Extended Universe, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. The film that few people thought was ever going to they thought it was either not going to happen or it was going to come out chopped to hell and do really badly. And that is what happened. So here we
I would
are.
like to say I held the faith it would come out. I can't really say anything about the second half because did have hope that it would be good because it's James Bond. But let it be known right off the top of this, I am not blaming James Bond for any of the issues I had with this film. He's a solid director. He's a fucking awesome director. I blame the constant studio meddling that I'm sure we'll talk about a little more when it came to the DCEU. Can't really say anything about the DCU that's coming out because it's not out yet. But the DCEU, the constant studio meddling, the constant delays this film had, I smell executive producer hands meddling with this film. So any issues I have, I should put that top bat. I'm not blaming James Bond. I'm blaming the higher ups that have fucked this universe up from day one.
I second that. Juan is blameless here. All the guy wanted to do was make Aquaman 2, and everybody stood in his way, including the company that hired him to make Aquaman 2. And yeah, that's what happens. So, no stranger to controversy. This film is the second DC film of the year to star a psycho who got in trouble with the law, which is pretty remarkable. Happens with Marvel, they immediately boot the guy. Happens with DC, they double down hard.
Yeah, so like, yeah, you have, obviously, I'm sure people have heard, Jonathan Majors got convicted. Um, Marvel the same day, maybe like tops an hour. I think not even an hour. It was way less time. That was like maybe 5 minutes after the conviction went. He is fired. We are no longer working with him. I'm like, that's how you handle that. That's how you do that. Warner Bros. Is so weird because they did do that with Johnny Depp for Fantastic Beasts 3 when the trial started. And look, quick side note. I know, look, who do I like as an actor? Johnny Depp. Guys, take off those rose tinted glasses. They're both toxic as fuck human beings in that relationship. I think she was more toxic, but they were both very toxic. They were both in the wrong. It is not black and white like you guys want to fucking make it out to be. Okay? Just want to put that out right now. That is how I feel about that whole damn stupid fucking trial we had to witness. Um it really was like, guys, you're both toxic. Like, this is dumb.
But I think the one who's shitting in the bed is the worst person.
Yeah, and that's why I said I put more on her for being more toxic, but they were both pretty like awful to each other, and yeah.
Yeah, I,
Um
I wouldn't want to know them. I wouldn't want to be at the barbecue when they're having fights. So
yeah,
yeah,
I wouldn't want that. Yeah. But obviously, when the trial started, Warner Bros. Was so quick to drop Johnny Depp from Fantastic Beasts 3 and replace him with Mads Mikkelsen, which they got backlash for. So I don't know if that like they just got like their feelings hurt because after that, yeah, the stuff going on with Ezra Miller, which should have been I think he was convicted. He was sent to like he was supposed to get like mental help was how he got out of it. But and yeah, sorry, I'm still not fucking respecting his pronouns on that one. You do not groom and do the kind of stuff you did and then expect me to respect you. No. Um but they fucking were coy about that, and the Flash flopped because they just doubled down, like you said, and now they're doubling down Amber Heard. They're like, and also not even acknowledging she's in the film. It's the weirdest thing. We'll get into it when we talk about the film.
yeah. I want to
But
bring that up right now, actually, because that pissed me off right off the bat. Was how little she's in the trailers and how little she was involved in the marketing of this movie, despite being a fucking prominent part of this film. I thought the reason they pushed this back and like, worked on it a little bit more was to either cut her role down or cut it out, knowing that the majority of people who wanted to see this fucking despise that woman. So what the hell? Like right off the bat, I was like, they lied to me, and I feel cheap right now.
Well, that and also like right before this came out, like a couple weeks ago, she tried to stir up more controversy. And this is why again I say my feelings on the whole thing were both toxic, her more so in my opinion. Because then she tried being like, well, Jason Momoa was coming on set drunk and dressing up like Johnny Depp. Like she tried making a big fucking stink before the film released. And what I love is like because we all know she's a crazy like lying bitch that no one believed and no one likes, and everyone loves Jason Momoa, and there's plenty of stories to back up how good of a dude he is. Everyone went, yeah, sure, okay, Amber, all right. And
You know,
I even loved I about Momoa's response was great to that. He was like, "Well, I guess it won't be an Aquaman 3." Like he just choked it off real quick.
I wish that he'd done like a response video denying all of it, but he's clearly shit-faced and he's dressed as the Mad Hatter. But yeah, that wouldn't have helped.
Yeah, I'm like, I wonder if I'm like, was he dressed like that, or was he maybe coming off the Fast X set to do Aquaman? Like, what was it?
Yeah, I was like Johnny Depp might wear something like that, therefore he's triggering me. Oh my God. Um,
Yeah, it was fucking stupid.
so she's yeah, Mira doesn't have a lot of lines, which I found funny, but she's always just there, just standing behind Aquaman or like doing some kind of ocean magic. But she has like four lines in the whole movie.
Dude, that's why it was so weird. It's like they didn't want to cut her stuff out, but they also did not want to acknowledge she's in the movie.
Yeah, they killed Defoe off screen with some plague. How about do that with Mira and make it actually hurt him?
Yeah, yeah. I was like, there's plenty of chances to make it like that scene where like when she gets hit with the try, I thought, oh, okay, this is what they're gonna do. They're gonna kill her off, and it'd be like at least make the character still be a salvageable part of this movie. Even though you get the actress you got attached to it. Nope, they did not do that. I'm like, but like Defoe gets killed off, and we all like Defoe. I would have taken him coming back.
Yeah, I'll take a million Defoes over one Amber Heard any day. Uh, so before we get into Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, we have seen. Well, actually, I haven't seen. All right, so this year's DC releases: Shazam! Fury of the Gods, The Flash, Blue Beetle, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. I have not seen Shazam 2 because I just couldn't be bothered. Which of those would you say is the best?
Blue Beetle, without doubt. It's the only good one that was released this entire year. It's the only one that felt like they tried. I had characters I like was fully invested in, a story that kept me engaged. When they hit the emotional moments, like the scene with him going to like briefly going to I guess with the afterlife or whatever, and seeing his dad, that hit me. It actually it hit me, it got me. Really fun action scenes. It still had some issues, that fall victim to just kind of like DC it seems, but that was a really good film. And all I could think was like, where has this been for like everything else you've released?
Every time they just let a director make their movie, it works. But every time they stick their face into production and be like, we got to control every aspect of this or it's not going to be a hit, it fails. How many times did they have to do that before they learned they're the problem? 15, apparently.
Yeah,
Unbelievable. I still like The Flash. I'm sorry. I enjoyed that movie.
but you're how dare you? You're a goddamn turncoat. That's what you are right now.
Who am I betraying right now?
The film gods.
I okay. Who is that?
I can't tell you it's classified.
Ah, gotcha. I thought it was fun. I thought it was ridiculous, and yeah, super. It looked terrible, but I got my Keaton fix. I got my Elfman fix. I I was okay with the cameos. I thought it was funny. I enjoyed it. I liked Blue Beetle as well. I still didn't see Shazam: Fury of the Gods. I don't really intend to. I watch it eventually. I'm in no hurry.
Shazam! Fury of the Gods was it had like the issues of like, like first off, the biggest thing was like you have Billy, who's like older in the movie, but when he, cuts to Zachary Levi as the adult, he acts even more childish than in the first film. I'm like, but he's supposed to be older. What the fuck's going on here? Um, and then like they don't really like they made up villains instead of just following from what they fucking teased at the end of the first movie. And because we can't use Black Adam because The Rock was so adamant that no, Black Adam's his own thing. Fucking
That worked
moron on
out
that
so
one.
well, didn't it?
Yeah. So like, yeah, that one was okay. The humor was like a little bit, again, they didn't find a good balance with that at all. Yeah, that movie was very forgettable. I I hate I don't like the Flash. It was not a good movie. I hated the alternate Barry and his fucking goddamn SpongeBob laugh that he kept doing. I hated the cameos because I'm like, nope, don't CGI. That's fuck you. Just give me the archive footage. That would have meant more than the CGI monstrosity. Especially when Nicolas Cage came out, I was like, yeah, that's not what I filmed. I'm like, oh, cool. So, fuck you, movie. Um,
That
yeah,
remains
okay, cool.
our longest first thoughts. I didn't put the timer on, and we just went at it. The Flash.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. And then I mean, yeah, it was cool seeing Michael Keaton and getting the Danny Elfman school, but like half of Keaton's dialogue consisted of him just requoting lines from the original film. Um,
I was okay with that because I wanted to get nuts, and I felt like it was finally okay to get nuts.
yeah, well, I need more than that. And then they just really butchered everything about the Flashpoint story. Like they just butchered the Flashpoint storyline they were going for.
I give you that. They did. They did. But
Like,
Clooney.
yeah, no, fuck that. And then to sit there and be like, well, if we did this sequel, we would have finally introduced Reverse Flash. Fuck you. Why didn't you just do it in the first goddamn film with Flashpoint and that being like the Flash's nemesis and one of the greatest Flash? Like, god damn it. Like, you could have just done it the first time instead of in this fucking overly long movie and butcher it. You don't even do a good job making it seem like it wasn't his dad. If someone pointed out, they're like, they don't do a good job making it not look like his dad. Like, great. They really don't.
Well, maybe, down the road, if Gunn manages to pull off this Superman movie and we get the Swamp Thing movie and the Creature Commando show and it all is great, we'll get a Flashpoint movie worth seeing.
Yeah, hopefully. God, and look, honestly, at this point, I'm just embracing anything Gunn does. I'm looking forward to Creature Commandos. I know some people are already like bitching like I don't even know those characters. Shut up. Um you need more than
Everybody
just Superman.
everybody knew every member of the Suicide Squad before 2016, right?
Yeah. And everyone knew who Guardians of the Galaxy were before that film came out, so shut the fuck up. Um I'm embracing look, as far as I'm concerned with this whole new thing, my biggest thing I'm looking forward to is Swamp Thing, Justice for Swamp Thing, because that show should have lasted way longer.
Shit, I finally watched it and I agree wholeheartedly. I enjoyed that show big time. I wanted to see Kevin Durant's Floronic Man take on Swamp Thing in season two, but I will never get to see that. Thank you so much, executives. Um, you
Yeah,
know,
awesome. Speaking of Kevin Durant, we do get to see him play a bad ape apparently in the upcoming Kingdom of Planet of the Apes. I
I
didn't
saw,
realize when the one that goes, yeah, when the one that goes, "What a beautiful day." I'm like, they're like, yeah, that's him. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't recognize it. He's good
yeah,
at pitching his voice.
yeah, he's a talented actor. Uh, okay, back to Aquaman. Pivot. Uh, I remember, I think we were both fans of the first one. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
but have you gone back to it? Like, do you think it has longevity? Because I have not seen it since I saw it at the movies in 2018.
I mean, I haven't gone back to it. That's a lot, but there's a lot of films I don't go back to more so because of time than anything.
Yeah.
Um, I think in the grand scheme of the DCEU, it does have longevity. Um, just because like, especially because it came at a time when like they were so adamant about being like grim and dark. And don't get me wrong, DC comics tend to be a lot grimmer and darker than Marvel comics tend to be. Um, so I get that, but not everything you do. And like I remember Aquaman was like a breath of fresh air. Like, okay, if we're not going to try to make a gritty fucking Aquaman movie because you're giving me a movie about a guy that talks to fish. Like, it had I remember liking the good balance it had of like kind of winking. I was like, yeah, we know what this is. We're on board. Momoa to me was always a good choice for the role. Like you could tell, like if anyone's going to try to make this character like credible, get him to do it. Um, and
Yeah.
yeah, I remember, I like that. I remember the only thing I didn't like about the film was Amber Heard, and this was before the whole trial. I just remember sitting there going, God, she is awful in this movie.
Yeah. I mean, even before, it turns out she was insane, I just thought she was a bad actress. Like, I didn't like her for that reason. And then it turns out she was shitting in Johnny Depp's bed and trying to destroy his career. So
She
there's a
she
lot of
really
reasons
gives
I don't
Texas.
like.
Yeah, she really gives Texas woman a bad name because if you don't know, she's from Texas. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. The only good thing she ever did that I enjoyed was this little indie horror film she did when she was first starting called All the Boys Love Mandy Lane. That she was really good in. I don't know what the fuck happened after that, but
I I'm gonna check this real quick to make sure it was her. Um, I might I might be wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. I wasn't wrong. Yeah, I like her brief bit in Zombieland.
that's right. That's right. I forgot about that.
I know. I thought it was like, was it another late 2000s blonde actress? No, it was Amber Heard.
So see, her calling would have been just fucking stick with horror films because you seem to be really good in that. It's you trying to be a serious actor you're not that great at.
No, she wanted the fucking world, man. She was like dating billionaires and like trying to baby trap them. Like she didn't give a fuck about her career. She just wanted the world.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah. I've heard about some of the stuff that's kind of spilled out since the trial of other people coming up and saying things about her. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember that was like my only negative sides. I remember kind of walking out going, I see, yeah, this was a fun time. I remember being really happy for James Wan because I think before that he had Furious 7, was the only like real big budget thing he had done. So I was like, ooh, here we go. And I remember being like, hey, good job, dude. Like you did, you pulled it off again. Like you're more than just a horror director. You can do this big budget stuff. Um, but again, it felt like they let him do his thing. You know what I mean? Like they let him do his thing with that first film, so it worked. I don't get the feeling that happened with this one.
Well, people forget the first Aquaman was a $1 billion success. That was a hugely successful movie. I don't think anybody expected that. This movie, so far, projected. Uh, oh, they took it off Wikipedia. It was there earlier. I saw it. I'm gonna say it. 4.5 million box office, 200 million budget. That's where we're looking at right now.
The Snyder fans are not getting on Wikipedia and erasing stuff because I don't know if you've seen they're in full force again on Twitter because I refuse to call it its stupid new name. Um,
This is their last gasp. This was their last attempt at success. I guess they figured if this
yeah,
made $4 billion, Zack Snyder's going to be reinstated and they're going to get their shitty DC movies again. I'd get it if the
no,
movies
they
were.
can just go watch.
I don't understand. Like, why are you so obsessed with making these movies suck? Why do you want these to suck?
I don't know. They got their shitty Star Wars film apparently, so you can go enjoy that.
Ugh. Um, I remember I really liked Patrick Wilson as Ocean Master. I thought he was a great choice, and he continues to be my favorite part of the sequel. I liked the direction they took Orm. I thought he was a little quick to forgive quite a lot of, usurping and torture at the hands of Aquaman, a person he already despised for taking away his family. Like that was a quick
Yeah.
turnaround.
Well, and that kind of goes into what I was alluding to earlier, where like I had a lot of story issues. It felt like this film rushed through stuff. Like was just like, yep, here we go, boom, it happened. Now we got that. Okay, next thing. It almost felt like they trimmed a little bit too much. And again, that's why I say studio meddling with the different leadership that was happening constantly and trying to make a film work for one era of the DCU and then making it work for this era, and then finally just, hey, just dump it out so we can fucking end this shit and wipe the slate clean. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah, this
and it felt
movie.
like the story suffered.
Yeah, good.
No, it felt like the story suffered, and like you were saying, where like he's quick to forgive, or like, like what I was alluding to earlier, the horribly done scene of when, like, Manta takes his kid and you get no time to like feel the emotion for the scene, cuts off of it and gets into like, okay, we gotta go get them. Like, what? We're not going to feel that for a second? I felt nothing with that. And then like, God, the horrendously like edited fucking climactic fight wanted to make me, I almost like threw something at the goddamn screen. I was so pissed off at that shit. I'm like, no, don't. I was like, don't do that to James Wan. He directs much better than that. How dare you?
This my biggest beef with Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is how painfully predictable it is. There's zero surprises in this movie. It unfolds exactly the way you'd expect it to. It's every beat of your typical blockbuster tripe, and I'm tired of it. I shock me. Make me want to see these movies again. It's the same shit every single time. Uh, I thought Black Manta was a terrible villain. I thought he was kind of neat in the first one. In this one, he's basically just a glorified like thug number six. There's no substance to this guy at all. You hire an actor like Yahya Abdul Mateen II, and you don't use him. You just have him say some of the most boring dialogue I've ever seen in a superhero movie. It's there's no stakes. Like you know how this is going to unfold. It's dull. It's you know business as usual.
Yeah, that's why I say like it just feels like they like, but all the different changes, they were just like, look, just get something together to fucking get this film out there. Um and yeah, because like it just moves through stuff really quick. And then there's a lot of interesting ideas, like the segment where they're on the island and getting having to deal with all the mutated bugs. That was a really interesting segment, really interesting shit going on that I kind of wanted to see expanded, but we just fly through it real quick to get to the next thing. We have like, I talk about Amber Heard just being in this film, but not really acknowledged. Let's talk about Nicole Kidman. Like, you bring her back, and she's just also feels like she's just kind of there the whole movie. It's like, then we get that big moment. She's like, it's you two together is what I've always wanted. I'm like, when we've had no time building this up at all.
I never thought in a million years I would watch a movie where Dolph Lundgren outshines Academy Award winner Nicole Kidman. But here we
Both
are.
Logan was crying, god damn it.
He knew what he signed up for. He's like, I am a king of the ocean, and I'm gonna play it like I'm king of the fucking ocean. I respected that. He's just like, Ark. Like, what are we gonna do? Like, he was just on board. I respected that. Him and John Rice Davies as the brine shrimp guy, they knew what they were making.
Oh yeah, they were fun. I did get, and like, to the credit, the film has some humorous moments, like when he's handing them the guns and Orm comes up and he just looks at him and puts the gun back and then grabs the axe and it's like, here you go.
I did laugh at the scene where Aquaman tricks Orm into eating a cockroach, but it backfires because Orm really enjoys it.
Yeah, that was funny.
No.
I
A
will
lot of
say,
people
look,
were pissed
uh,
at the post credit, like where he, puts the cockroach on the burger and is like, ah. A lot of people were like, that's disgusting, and we're trying to come at this movie. It's like, are you kidding me? Really? Stop it.
really, that's the hill they want to die on. I'd be more pissed if like the post credit scene teased something we're never going to get because this universe is over.
Considering how fucking tone deaf this whole damn ride has been since 2013, I really did expect a post credit scene where like Black Manta's arm comes out of the rubble or something.
Oh god, just, oh hey, there's the thing we're never going to get. Um, yeah, I will say, look, a positive is that Momoa and Wilson's chemistry was really good. Like when the film started to kind of focus on those two just playing off each other, it really worked for me because they just played very well off each other.
I did feel like it was doing a little revisionist history on the first Aquaman, like turning, Orm into some kind of like, you know, martyr trying to do the right thing. That's not what happened though. He betrayed a lot of people and tried to conquer most of the world. Like, let's not forget that he was the bad guy. He was a tyrant. Like, this is, he wasn't fucking, Fidel Castro before the revolution.
No, but we forgive him very quickly and let him go live, in fucking solitude or the fuck. He probably went to that sunken city place to live his life for now.
Yeah, you know what happened? Aquaman just let the most dangerous man in the ocean, who hates his guts and was probably lying through his teeth about all that shit, let him go. Atlantis is very much mostly still loyal to that guy. He's going to have no trouble raising an army to take over that place. Like he just fucked everything up.
Yeah, he really did. I did, yeah, and that see, and again, another thing where like this film just like it's like it felt like it wanted to do more. We're talking about his time as king and the global crisis and the fact that some of the Atlanteans, most of the Atlanteans don't want him as king. It so briefly touches on that and then just never deals with it again until like the very end of the film when you get that quick scene when he's like talking, you see that one counselor just going, oh God, he went to the surface people.
I found it kind of like a little dumb that Aquaman is fully aware of the animosity between the ocean and the surface world and these people who don't want him as king and are questioning his ability to lead. But he's only living in Atlantis like part time. Like he's basically commuting there. He lives up on the surface world with his dad raising a kid. He doesn't see that as a problem. If the president was like of America was like living in Canada most of the time and driving to DC every day for work, we'd have a problem with that.
Yeah. I mean, I get Aquaman's point of like, yeah, you can't really do any kind of change if you don't finally reveal yourself and be like, hey, motherfuckers, like the shit you're doing is killing people in the goddamn ocean. Then, especially at that point, the DCEU was established, weird shit goes on. So it's like I kind of got where Aquaman was coming from, um, on that end, but also like how dumb are people that there's one guy exists in this universe that can live in the water, you don't maybe question that there could be more.
The interconnectedness of this universe has never felt concrete at all. Not once.
No, look, the best fucking only time the interconnectedness worked for me was when James Gunn did that shit with Peacemaker when they showed up. He I think he tells like Aquaman tells Barry to like fuck off or something like that.
Um,
That was great.
that was good. Uh,
We just show
I
up late,
feel
guys, as always.
I think a great way to establish Black Manta as a legit threat, someone to be taken seriously, I think he should have killed both of Aquaman's parents. I think Tamara Morrison, who nearly got a death scene, but for some reason was just like, put on life support for we're not getting a three. We all know that. Why do that? Have him die to prove the situation serious, and then also kill Nicole Kidman. That way he's like we know that Manta's not fucking around.
Yeah, it's amazing how like films just don't want to have stakes in them anymore. Like, no, don't kill character stuff. I'm like, but that's how I get invested. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be sad that character's gone, but that's how you get me more invested. Be like, yeah, go get him. But again, that also and it also relates to like again this film's fucking script or studios messing with the edit or whatever that it ended up being. You got two villains essentially in this film. Neither one's really given any goddamn good prominence to be a good villain. Like Black Manta is your returning villain with the motivation of, hey, I want my revenge. But then you find out, well, he's being controlled by the king of this long lost kingdom, who's the brother of, Atlantis, and wants to fucking get his revenge, gets revived and get his revenge. And it's like but neither one's given any real fucking time to be a true threat. They just both felt throwaway as fuck by the end of the film.
Yeah. And let's talk about the other guy for a second. Cordax, the king of Necris, and all this like brutal exposition vomit that just shows up halfway through the movie. Uh, what a letdown that guy was. Like he's, freed from eternal prison, this like force of like, blood magic possession of the ocean, and he is dispatched in like 5 seconds. He doesn't
Dude,
even get
look,
out of the fucking chair.
don't even look. Okay, look, don't even get me started on this whole fucking ending. The moment Randall Park, who is one of like the most under like used comedic actors have been seeing in film recently, I'm like, guys, use his comedic talents wisely. Stop squandering him. Uh, the moment he throws his phone, he's like Aquaman, and throws the spear at him, and we get that horribly edited fight scene between Aquaman and Black Manta. Because look, watch that scene and tell me that's a good fight scene. No, it's not. We live in a goddamn post-John Rick Ward. Step your goddamn game up. Like that should. I was infuriated. I was so mad when I saw that. Like the moment the camera just kept falling, I'm like, did the actors actually do anything, or did they just CGI this whole fucking fight scene? What the fuck is going on? That made me mad. And then yeah, you see him get up, and I'm like, okay, here we go. Maybe we'll get an actual good fight scene here. No, he just, as Josh put it, he Robin Hoods his fucking trident into his trident and kills him. And I was like, how do you? I was like, oh god damn it, movie! You literally fucked both of your like main villain fight scenes.
So why lock this guy up if he's pretty easy to dispatch? I mean, that wasn't the whole point. Like they couldn't destroy him. He was so powerful. But like the literal weapon that Atlan had, all he had to do was stab this guy and he exploded. Like that's all you had to do. God,
Yeah, and also
if you're gonna make up your own rules, fucking follow them.
yeah, and also that the orgy, I forget what was card. Now it just sounds like I'm talking about fucking porno orgy stuff. No, no.
Oh,
The
the orichalcum. Yeah.
thank you, the orichalcum. That wasn't he filled with that? Because the big deal was like, if this should explode, it can be catastrophic. If even one cancer explodes, I'm like, he literally just exploded, and isn't he like filled with that shit and the dark magic? Like, why is it? Shouldn't this be more catastrophic than him just blown up?
Here's the real question. If that stuff was so, you know, detrimental to the environment and could go up at any time, why was the solution to bomb the island?
Yeah, I thought that. I'm like, wait, why are you guys doing this? Isn't it that like you don't want to do this? Like, don't bomb it. I the film does not follow its rules about the things it's set out. It's like we have. It's kind of like if you were like, it sets out these world-ending associations with this stuff, and then goes, "We'll just bomb it. It's fine." Yeah, you just established if one little cancer goes off, the war is fucked. Why are you trying to bomb the island that's filled with it?
It's like if in Black Panther they established that vibranium is the strongest metal on Earth. Nothing can destroy it. And as they're saying that, in the background, there is a dude cutting a loaf of it with a steak knife. We could clearly see him doing it. It's completely invalidating anything we're being told right now.
Oh
That's how
god,
these
yeah.
movies
Like, all
work.
right.
Nobody fucking cares.
It's like because they're just trying to get to plot point A, B, C. They're just trying to get to each plot point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not actually trying to get us invested.
Nah, they don't care anymore, especially with this one. Like it's weird to have a movie that we know for sure is never going anywhere, and they knew that going into it. So like, why are we all here? Like, couldn't we have just, why was this one not just written off as a tax write-off?
Don't even get me started on Zaslav and that whole shit. Dude. Jesus Christ. That bullshit when he was trying to like gain sympathies, like it's really hard, guys. All right. It's a hard decision to write these films up. is it hard for you to just
Keep doing
discredit?
it.
Yeah, you keep doing it, bud. I was like,
It's
Jesus Christ.
it's so it's so weird to have like an executive in charge of one of the biggest movie companies in the world who very clearly despises film. Like he doesn't want to do this. He hates being there and he's doing everything he can to not have to quit. Like he wants out, I feel like, but he doesn't want to be the one to do it. So I guess he feels like if he
Yeah.
just keeps making horrible decisions, someone will kick him out of there and it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. And he wants to like, he's like, we'll focus on these franchises. Well, what happens if you have the DCEU and the franchise isn't profitable? Because you keep axing your original films, you have nothing. But yeah, it's amazing that somehow bad of all the look of all the DC films that have come out this year, minus Blue Beetle, every time I've just sat through it and gone, why the hell was Batgirl ran off? Why was that deemed terrible? Because the quality on these other things that you're putting in theaters is shit. So why was that ran off?
Dude, the you remember back when, let's say around Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, which I still hate that fucking title. Um, they announced so many ambitious projects. We were going to get a Cyborg movie. We were going to get a Green Lantern Corps movie. We were going to get three Justice League movies, Superman 2, all that shit. None of that fucking happened. Like, it's amazing how many films we were supposed to get, and we got fuck all because nobody planned anything. Marvel, for all their faults now, they had a decade of films planned out. A couple of them sure didn't make it. We never got that Inhumans movie. Yeah, but they course corrected in a smart way. Like I feel like Warner Brothers just like grabbed a handful of darts and threw it at the wall, hoping some of them were going to hit the dartboard, but not really caring. And here we are with 10 years of, I would say, 10 years of failure.
Yeah, it and like don't get me wrong, those there have been films in the DCU I have enjoyed. Okay, the Suicide Squad, the Harley Quinn movie, which was really just a Birds of Prey movie, or was a Harley Quinn movie but called Birds of Prey. What the fuck? That was enjoyable. Like, there were films I've enjoyed, but 9 times out of 10, man, with this universe, I've just sat there and gone like, dude, what are we doing? And it's like, yeah, I really hope with the DCU coming out, right, that they just fucking let James Gunn and Safran do their thing. I understand that ultimately they're going to probably have to answer to Zaslav. But it's the same thing with Feige and Igor, right? Over at Disney. Like ultimately Feige does have to answer to Igor. Ultimately. But Igor trusts him enough to say, do your thing. I'm hoping to God it's like that. Like, yes, ultimately he's going to answer to Zaslav. He did have to present his before he announced it. He even admitted, yeah, I had to present what we were doing to him before I announced it. So him announcing it was getting the okay from that saying, yeah, I'm cool with this. Go, go forward, do your thing. So I'm hoping it continues down that road. Obviously, it really fucking depends when we get Superman Legacy and in the same year that as of now Batman Part 2 is supposed to come out. Um Hopefully it continues. I do think 100%, as much as we're dogging them right now, they did ultimately the smart thing. They dumped what they had left out, just said, fuck it, get it out and get it done. On the TV front, for those of you who haven't been paying attention, they've been canceling everything. Doom Patrol recently ended, which, by the way, more people watch Doom Patrol because that was one of the best series finales I've seen in like a show in a very long time. That thing was fucking amazing how they ended that shit. Um, they end Doom Patrol, they end Titans, they Superman, all the CWDC shows are ended, minus Superman Lois, which has announced its upcoming season will be its last. I think Harley Quinn's the only thing still going, and that's like an animated thing. I think it's kind of quote unquote going to be an Elseworlds thing, which is fine. Um, I think they're doing the smart thing. Just dump it and then take a break. I think the only thing we're scheduled to get next year's Creature Commandos as far as the DCU is concerned. And that's it. Okay, cool. I can live with that. Marvel, I think same, but I think the same thing with Marvel. Like I know, granted, their hands were tied because of the strike, so we're only getting Deadpool 3 on the MCU side of things movie wise. But I think that's fucking smart because as we're seeing on both of these companies, people are fucking fed up, both with the amount of content coming out and the quality that's coming out. People are done. So yes, DC, take a damn break next year. Just come out with Creature Commandos. That's it. Marvel, Deadpool 3, your only film, that's fine. Even when they announced their TV shows for next year, I know it's like it's mainly animated shows, X-Men 97, the Spider-Man. Hey, that's smart to me. Like, yeah, don't fucking inundate us with all these fucking live action shows anymore. Like, take a damn break, get your shit together, give us quality again, slow the content down, slow that quantity down, and come back strong in 2025 so we can finally get people back on board with these two brands.
Yeah, we need that break. I'm I'm admittedly very happy that we are finally done with this DC train wreck. Since this started, I have been wondering why this was the direction they opted to go in when they are the caretakers of some of the most profitable and memorable and iconic characters in all of fiction. And they fucked that into the ground so quickly. And it feels
Mm-hmm.
like they've just been trying to get their way out, get like somehow figure their way out of the hole ever since. I, for one, am happy to finally bury this shit, and I'm pissing on the grave as we speak. Bring on James Gunn.
Yeah, bring on James Gunn. And it's amazing when they never learned their lesson. Like the Batman was a huge hit to the point that we are getting spin-off shows. We are getting that sequel. Matt Reeves has confirmed he is planning a trilogy. So if sequel does well, we're getting part three to cap it off. The Penguin show's already getting some kind of advertisement. If you watch the recent what's coming to Max in 2024 trailer, you get some Penguin footage in there. So we're getting stuff from that universe, but they never learned their lesson. They literally went, it's like they turn, like they go blind. They're like, hey, that did really good. How do we apply it to that? And I'm like, well, you guys left them alone. You let them make a fucking movie. And then people responded. And I stand by it. The Batman, I still stand by it being one of the my personal favorite fucking take on Batman still to this day. I fucking adore that film. Um, but it's like, and unfortunately, the only thing that does burn me more so with Marvel than does with DC is Igor's recent comment after the Marvels came out of saying, "Oh, it flopped because we need to be more involved." I'm like, no, no. It's like you don't know. No, 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 no. The problem is not fucking lack of executive involvement. That is the issue. Is how much involvement you have.
Yeah, us just being the consumers of this shit, all we can do is just watch and hope that the right people are making the right decision. And that leads to us getting stuff that we want to see, not that we have to see, because that's what it's felt like lately. And I am tired of that. So, yeah, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is going to fail. It's going to tank. It's going to be forgotten. And no one's really ever going to talk about it again. And that's
Yeah,
exactly what's going to happen to the rest of the DC lineup this year.
and it's you make a good point because thinking about it now, early in Guardians 3 superhero wise, I never got excited for a trailer. They came out not a single one, but then you look at stuff like John Wick 4, I got excited for that when that trailer came out. I was like, fucking let's go. Even looking into next year, the Furiosa seat, like those got me excited. You know what I mean? Like there's not other than Guardians 3, there wasn't a single DC or Marvel trailer that came out that made me go like, I can't fucking wait. Not a single one this year.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a shame. It's like watching a good friend that you used to really trust like become a crackhead. And you know that they used to be great, and you know they still got it in them to be great, and you want to help them, but you can't do shit. They got to help themselves.
Yeah, I just saw that when you're talking about like getting hyped up in trailers. Just like, yeah, dude, like I mean, the films that got me hyped up were like things like John Wick 4, Saw X, Thanksgiving, like those were trailers that made me go, fuck, I can't wait to see this. You know what I mean?
That's how I felt when I saw Aquaman today, and the Furiosa was part of the trailer lineup, and I got goosebumps. I'm like, oh fuck, Miller's back. We're going back to the wasteland. Like that's how you're supposed to feel when you see a trailer. You're supposed to be like, oh my god, I can't wait to see this. And I love that we've got at least one for next year that's gonna make that's bringing us, that. I feel a little
Yeah.
bit of that with
Dude,
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes as well,
I,
and some other
I was
stuff.
just
But
about to say, I remember when the Kingdom Planet Apes trailer, like they were like, "Hey, dude, it's out." I couldn't wait to get home and watch. I was like, "Holy shit!" I was like, "It's coming out." Granted, a lot of that had to do with the fact that I was like, "Is it coming out?" Because of the strikes. Like, I don't know how far along they were in filming it. Um, but then when I got home and I watched the trailer, I was like, "Oh yeah," like you said, I was like, "Oh shit, this looks good, man!" Like I want more of that so much, and and this isn't just an issue with comic book films. 2023 in general, and I'm sure that we'll reserve this for a special, episode we're planning. Um, the talk about, but just to talk briefly here, if we still have the time. 2023 in general, I just never felt that excited for a large chunk of the films that were advertised. It was just like, oh, Indiana Jones, I'm gonna watch this because it's Indiana Jones and I've seen the other four. Oh, new Transformers, I've seen the other ones. I'll go watch this one. I just like going to the movies in general anyway. But besides a few here and there, like my excitement level wasn't like sky high, you know what I mean? Like, and I just pine for a year where I'm like generally excited to see a good chunk of the films coming out.
well, I mean, just look back at the first thoughts we've done. I've done a few with Adam, a few with Austin, one with Mysia, one with Isabel. So it's, but the large bulk of first thoughts has been me and you. And
Mm.
I feel like we have been complaining more than we've been celebrating. Like there's not been a lot of movies where we both were like, "Holy shit, that was fun." Like the one that comes to mind immediately is Saw X. Like that was where we were just like jazzed and just ranting about how much we fucking loved that. There's not been a lot of that this year, and that's the most disappointing part is having, come to the show and be like, "Yeah, it sucked."
Yeah, it
There's not much you can do with that. I hate having to do that, but I'm not gonna lie and try to turn a piece of shit movie into a gem just because I stare at it long enough.
yeah, it fucking sucks, man. Yeah, I do remember being like really chat to the point that when they made the recent announcement that Saw 11 is happening, I texted him like, dude, Saw is fucking back. Like we're going. Like I'm genuinely fucking excited, especially keep going down the route they did with that last one. I was like, fuck yeah, dude, bring this on. Jigsaw is back, baby. I haven't felt that with any like other films, even if they were to be like, even like fucking, and actually that's even like John Wick. Me, as much as I fucking adore Chapter 4, them talking about, oh yeah, we're talking about doing a fifth one. I just sit there and go, no, you had a perfect ending. No.
You got to know your moments, and we no longer know our moments. If anything has a whiff of success, it's got to be not just sequelized, but like duplicated, and there's got to be a TV show, and there's got to be 3 films announced for the next 10 years, 2 of which probably aren't going to happen. Like, can we slow the fuck down and just move that up, like at one at a time again? Can we just do that?
Yeah, dude, look, and I haven't seen it yet. I am going to now that it's on Max. But I respect the hell out of Margot Robbie's comment with Barbie, and when she was like, "Yeah, we're not doing a sequel because we don't." She's like, "This film needs to uh, show that you can have a huge hit film that's a one and done film." Essentially, I'm paraphrasing quite a bit of what she actually said,
Yeah.
but that was kind of like the gist of it, and I respect the hell out of that because yes, like bring back the idea of like just because it's a huge success, we don't necessarily need to have sequels. If the story's sufficiently told in that film, there's no proper reason to do a sequel, fucking leave it. All right.
Yeah.
Now, yes, if you have plans for a sequel, if you have a good story to bring them back, yeah, then by all means, I'm cool with it. Um, let's go. Because I look, a healthy film world is a good mixture of one and done films, these original new films we get mixed with fucking franchises and IP. It's what should be in my opinion, an actual healthy film board, right? The IP gives us something new and different. Or sorry, the one and done thing is something new and exciting to look forward to. The franchise is the comfort and the idea of like, hey, I can, enjoy this franchise I love so much in this world I want to go back to, but also watch this new creative thing out there.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to end it. We're coming up on the hour. I do want to just leave with this prediction for March. Barbie is going to walk away from the Academy Awards with no less than 3 Oscars. Maybe more, no less than 3.
Does it does it is there really any other real competition Oscar rise so far? Maybe Startburn. I don't know. I
Well,
have not watched all the
I don't think it's
Oscar
gonna I don't
releases.
think it's gonna win anything big. I'll tell you that right now. It's gonna get like costume design, song, and probably production design. It's not taking picture, it's not taking director, screenplay, none of that. Oppenheimer's the film to beat this year. I know you're gonna watch both of those soon. I'm excited to hear what you think. Uh,
Yes, yes, I'm doing my at home Barbenheimer because that's gonna make Nolan happy.
you beat the system. You win. Congratulations.
I would love if somehow he did find out and like he just gets like this weird like Spidey sense.
I'm, I'm picturing. You remember Christian Bale's like Terminator Salvation freak out?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I'm I'm seeing like Christopher Nolan getting like blitzed and somehow getting a hold of your FaceTime and he like calls you and here's what you're doing and he just goes like, "Oh, good for you." Like just starts ranting at you like Christian Bale and you're just like not really sure what to do.
Make a better war movie, dude. Dunkirk sucked. Sorry to anyone who liked it. I hated that movie.
Well, Oppenheimer's an amazing film and art wise, like in terms of Oscar bait, there have been some fucking amazing movies in the past couple months. So that
Mm,
if you want like quality entertainment, go to the indie film scene, look at, original
yeah.
films by auteur directors, like Emerald Fennell did Saltburn, which is really weird and neat.
Also,
Um,
I've been hearing a lot about Sartburn on my Twitter feeds, my
yeah.
various groups I follow.
American Fiction was really cool. Like yeah, that's where you got to go. That's where you want to find your original art. And
Yeah, I'm sure the holdovers will probably get some love. I keep hearing a lot of people
that was
liking that
great. I
one.
love the holdovers. I've heard Paul Giamatti's like one of the, might be the front runner for actor now. Like he's creeping up there.
Really,
Yeah, which would
good for
be
him.
awesome to see Giamatti take an Oscar home. That would be fucking sweet.
Yeah, good for him. No, I will genuinely. I am actually genuinely looking forward to watching Oppenheimer at home. Um, I
Oppenheimer.
did it. Yeah, I am genuinely looking forward to it. I've heard really good things about it. As far as much grief as I like to give Christopher Nolan, I will give credit to the guys and a hell of a director. Even though I do think he's gotten a little bit up his ass with the technicalities over actually being able to tell a story. But it sounds like from what I'm hearing, Oppenheimer is him kind of being what I like about him as a director is that the technical and the actual acting and everything else in the story, I should say, is all there this time. So that I'm actually looking forward to checking this one out.
So at the Oscars, if Christopher Nolan takes director, I would love it if his speech, like he goes up there and he's like, lastly, I want to thank everybody who went to see this on the big screen, except you. You know who you are. You know what you did to me. I don't thank you. Would you get goosebumps? Would you be a little freaked out?
I would continue doing what I'm doing. I'd just be like, hey, when's it gonna be on the cock, dude? Since you got to deal with them, let me know
Uh,
the date when it's on the cock. I got you.
uh, well, that pretty much wraps it up for first thoughts for the year. There's some more stuff coming out. The Color Purple, Ferrari, the Iron Claw, and I'll see them, but I don't think we'll be doing any episodes on them. I think we're kind of wrapping this up, and our next one will be
Yeah,
kind of a best of 2023, looking back at the year, and that'll be for first couple weeks of January.
yeah. I mean, this is pretty much like this is for sure my last theater film for the year. What a film to end on Aquaman. Yay. Um,
I need a palate cleanser, so I'm gonna go see something else.
Yeah, no, but with that said, I'm not done with 2023 films. As you know, I just said I'm doing my going to do my at home Barbenheimer. I have a list of some films I want to check out that came out through that just kind of slipped past me. I'll probably finally sit through the fucking Nun too. Hopefully not fall asleep like 5 times trying to get through what I'm sure is also a piece of shit film.
That
Um,
bad? Wasn't that bad?
we'll see because I absolutely despise the first film. It's so fucking terrible. In my opinion, at least. But I got a couple of films, so I'll be doing that. I'm not saying anything else theater for 2023, but I am going to be kind of catching up on some stuff at home. To end it.
Yeah. Go see Aquaman if you want. I don't care. You know, do what you want. It's not that great,
Or
but
or don't, because apparently no one is, and it's going to fucking make way less than 200 million.
it's the 15th film in a franchise that's been bleeding out since 2016. So, if you're surprised that it's not that great, that's on you. Uh, take it easy. Keep watching movies. We'll see you next time.